Can the Dallas Mavericks upset the Los Angeles Clippers? Currently, they are 1-0 in the start of the playoffs. I believe they have a game tonight at 10:30. And to my surprise, the Clippers lost the first game. Now, when you look at the game log and things like that, the entire team just had a bad night. I mean, Kawhi, minus 15 plus minus. Marcus Morris, Zubac, Paul George. I mean, almost every single player had a bad night. Just didn't sink the shots in. Just wasn't a good night. And that brings me to a point that I kind of wanted to make when you have any team and you focus on two big players. You can kind of make the argument for LeBron and AD, when they're not on the floor, what does the team do? Do other players step up? Do they take control? And most of the time, it doesn't work. Because of salary cap issues, you can't afford to have that deep, productive bench. So when I look at the Clippers, you think of Kawhi Leonard, you think of Paul George, maybe Patrick Beverley, but honestly, I forget that Serge is on the team. I forget that Marcus Morris is on the team and other players. And they just don't produce. They just crap the bed. And if Kawhi and Paul George, even if they get their points, you still need other players to score the ball, to make the plays, to get back on defense. I mean, there's so many things to the game of basketball, and it's just not working. Now, the LA Clippers got bounced out last season, and I do think if it came to the Lakers and the Clippers, I think the Clippers could give them a run for their money. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm not saying that the Clippers are a bad team, but you don't want to get too cocky or full of yourself when you're facing a team that you typically should beat. I think the Dallas Mavericks are a good team. They're better than last year, and Luka is just a monster in itself. He is just great. You can't stop that guy. Now, he's been known to have some off nights and things like that, so maybe you'll get lucky, but I doubt it. He had a triple-double the first game. Clippers had no answer. He was able to do anything he wanted on the floor. He did play 40 minutes. That's a big, heavy load, but so did Kawhi and Paul George, and they just couldn't get the job done. And there's been a lot of hype. There's been a lot of attention to the team because they've been underperforming. And when you look at the roster, who else do you have? Luke Kennard. I like Ibaka, but he's old. I like Cousins, but what is he going to do? Patrick Beverley is good. He's not that offensive threat that the team needs. Overall, I think the Dallas Mavericks might just upset this team, and that's surprising to me because when you think of the Clippers, you think of a dominant team who has a good coach, good players, good bench, and you would assume, just like last year, that they were going to come out of the West. So if they go out in the first round, that's going to, you talk about maybe getting rid of the coach, maybe trading someone away, that will create so much drama. But I don't want to take away from the Mavericks because they're a good team. They're a very well-coached team. And who knows? They can run the table. They can go, they can get past the Clippers, him and Kristaps, and they're a decent team. I like Hardaway. They have some pretty good complementary players to complement Luka and Kristaps, even though I think some players really need to step up their game. But you never know about these teams. I mean, they are only the 4th and 5th seeds, so it's not like, a 1 seed versus 7 seed and things like that. What do you guys think about the game? Do you think that the Mavericks could possibly upset the Los Angeles Clippers, and what all of the attention and the hype is around that team specifically? Do you think that the Mavericks can come out with 4 wins? I'm not saying a sweep, but I'm saying maybe in 5, maybe in 6, maybe in Game 7, but maybe, just maybe, the Mavericks could upset the Clippers and move on to the next round, and that can make some noise. That can, make another team scary of them. But hey, I mean, I'm rooting for a good game. I like both teams, but I'm a big fan of Luka, and we shall see. Make sure you guys let us know in the comment section below what you think about what's going to happen in tonight's game and for the rest of the series, and we'll check you guys out next time.